Hey everyone, welcome to day 5 of our Leaders Bootcamp training. I hope you're having a super week and getting all of your homework done each day. It's important to do them every day. So today we're going to get right into it and talk to you about building a community with your team and how important it is to build a community with your team and essential to the success of your team as well. So there are a few things I want to talk about that we have already talked about, so I'm not going to go in huge detail about those. But I do want to talk about them a little bit because they are important to building a community. Number one is leading by example, and we've already discussed that and how you can lead by example. Your team members want to see that you're in it too. And Kim posted that beautiful image of the guy, sitting at the desk and telling everyone where to go, and the other one where he's a leader and he's leading the way of where to go. And that is the difference, is you're down there in it with them. So you want to make sure you're leading by example. We also talked about keeping it positive and how important that is. So you want to always keep it positive in your page, and it is possible and encouraged to share about things that aren't positive in your business, but to share about them in a positive way. So if a team member is really struggling with something, you can encourage them to ask for opinions and ideas and talk about that and have an open discussion about something that they're struggling with. So maybe they're really struggling to get bookings, and rather than getting on Facebook or calling you or texting you as like, this is terrible, I can't get bookings, no one will book with me, I don't know why I'm doing this. They could come about it with a positive, so you have something negative that you address in a positive way. I'm really struggling getting bookings right now. I would love some tips on how everyone else on the team is filling their calendar this fall season. So we can guide and encourage our team members to address those in a positive way. Of course, sharing successes is a great way to keep the positivity going. So anytime your team member shares something with you that's excellent in her business, try to share that in your newsletter and on your team page as well to keep that positive, exciting energy. People love to be recognized as well. So you want to share those successes. You want to acknowledge your team members. You're going to do that by sharing their successes, of course. And then also sometimes we're recognizing things, maybe people stepping outside their box or trying something new, or maybe they're just simply showing up. I love to recognize and thank people for attending team meetings. And just remember that you want to recognize what you want repeated. So if you want people having $500 parties all the time, then you want to be sure that you recognize that. If you want people doing coffee chats, which they're not going to recruit everyone that they have a coffee chat with, but gosh, it sure is a good thing to have a coffee chat with people. So we want to recognize that. And those are the things that we want to pull out of our team members and recognize. I will admit I'm better at this sometimes than others, but man, when you're on it, it does make a difference. So just really try to do that and have either in your notes in your phone, or you could take a screenshot of something that they send you, some different ways that you can kind of keep that in your phone so that you remember that, maybe you can't really recognize them in that moment, but you can put it in your newsletter for the next week. So here, those are things that we've kind of already talked about a little bit. So here's some things that are great with building a community. And I want you to think about a community of people and what makes you want to be part of that community. And then I want you to take those things and I want you to put it into your team. So perhaps you belong to a mom's group, or maybe you belong to a church, or maybe you belong to a game group, so maybe bridge or something like that, a card club. What is it that keeps bringing you back to those groups? It's relationships most of the time. It's laughter. It's friendships. It's having a common theme or a common goal in mind. All of those things are really important for building a community. But I would love for you, this isn't your homework assignment, but if you would like to go ahead and share in the comments, what is it that keeps you a part of another community besides your team, your lemongrass business team? Just list those ideas, because that would be fun to see what you guys are viewing as important enough to remain a part of a community. So with that, we need everyone to get to know each other. So we need to be having conversations in our team page, in our team newsletter, about things other than lemongrass. And we want to get to know who they are as a person. Lemongrass is just a piece of their life. They do have a life outside of lemongrass, as do you. And I want you to share those things with your team, but also I want your team to share that. So we had a post going, I need to get it going again in our team page, but we change it up every now and then. But the latest thing we called it was We Are So Cool Wednesday. And it would just be some random question about them. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What type of music do you like? What do you enjoy doing just for fun when you're not working? Whatever. Just just tell me about you. Who are you? And what do you like to do? And lighthearted, fun questions make that really exciting. So you could pick a day a week and just have, those were our highest engagement posts on our team page whenever we have those. And so those are a lot of fun at getting to know each other post. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is that you want to talk about other things other than lemongrass. Talk about what you did for the weekend. Maybe ask everyone what they did for the weekend. Talk about I'm just trying to think. Talk about your family, because our families are usually part of our why. Talk about their birthdays, their anniversaries. All of those things are not part of their lemongrass business, but it's who they are and things that they enjoy. And maybe you saw that they went on vacation, and so you might be having a call with them, and real quick you can ask how their vacation was real quick. So excuse me, I'm so sorry. So that is a huge piece of that as well, is just talking to them about things that they really, really enjoy and that they find important within their lives. So I talked a little bit about, wishing them a happy birthday, wishing them a happy anniversary. Make sure you're commenting on their profile. If you saw they went on vacation, comment that it looks like that they had so much fun. Just engage with them on their personal profiles. And even if they, if they're commenting in the team page, then you need to make sure that you are also commenting and helping them out with their questions that they have within your team page. So everyone helping and working together is another idea for building a community. And that is something that we want to encourage other team members to share. If you hear something that worked really well for them, ask them. It's okay to ask them to share in your team page. And so, just say, oh my goodness, Tara, that is a great tip that you just shared. I love that you figured that out. If you were really struggling with that, I bet someone else is on our team too. So could you please share that on our team page, and they will be honored that you ask them that, and then they will be happy to share those things on your team page. We do want to ask them to help other people. Maybe someone says, hey, what is your best vendor event tips on your team page? And maybe you know someone who has a lot of successful vendor events. So you could tag her and say, hey, Kimberly, could you share some of your best vendor event tips here, for the team? And so that, she could then comment on there what her favorite tips are for vendor events. So those are a few ideas that I had for you. So just real quick, with building a community is lead by example, keep it positive, share successes, acknowledge what you want to be repeated, getting to know one another on a personal level, commenting and engaging with them on their personal profile, and then asking them to help each other and to work together. And it's okay to ask people to do that until it becomes their norm, that they're like, oh, I'm just going to post that. And so here's another thing that I find really interesting. It does take an effort to build a community. And I hear a lot of, gosh, you're so lucky that your team works so well together, or you're so lucky that you're successful in your business. And I was struggling to find this quote, so I'm going to keep looking because I can't find it right now. But the quote, I believe it's a Henry Ford quote, but I can't seem to find a Henry Ford quote about this. But it talks about how successful people aren't lucky. They work really hard. So I think it's something about the harder I work, the luckier I get, is essentially the point of the quote. So I'll find that quote and post that for you. So I want you to make yourself lucky. Work really hard to build a community, and your team will want to be part of your group, and they're going to be more active for that huge piece to being a successful director. So thanks for, let me tell you your homework before I go. Homework is, you're going to work with your team. If you have a team page, work within your team page. If you don't, start a group message of your team members, and you're going to work with your team to create a mission statement for your team. Or you could just come up with some words and use one of those apps to create a word collage that have all these words that represent what your team is about. Or you can decide on a quote for your team that really fits your team and your goals that you're wanting to work toward with Lemongrass, or what you stand for as a team. So work together as a team, and then this might take, I want you to take over the weekend to do it, but come back to this video and I want you to post what you have come up with, whether it's a quote or a collage or a mission statement. I want you to share this. Now, if you already have one of those, I want you to build on that and come up with something new to add to it. So that's your homework. Happy Friday, and enjoy working with your team this weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.